I scolded my daughter after she paid someone to do a chore that I had asked her to do.
You're going to scold your daughter for being a young, intrepid entrepreneur?
It's called delegation. I'm a single dad to a 15-year-old girl. We live in an area where we get a lot of donations.
Riley was gifted a membership.
Dude, Riley just got gifted a membership?
Around the time she was 11, I taught her how to shovel, and usually we do it together. We have a decent-sized driveway and walkway. Sometimes, if it's too icy, I'll do the whole thing myself. By the way, this comes from OK Nectarine 791. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, over the weekend, we got some unexpected snow while I was at work. I called my daughter and asked that she shovel out a bit of the driveway so I'll have room to park and get out the next day, as well as shovel the walkway and steps. She said yes. When I came home, the entire driveway was shoveled and the walkway and steps were cleared perfectly. I thanked her and said she did a good job. She then told me that when she went out to shovel, she saw our neighbor, who's a couple years older than her, was shoveling his walkway. She offered him $40 of her own money to shovel for her, and he accepted. I told her that I had asked her to shovel, not the neighbor, and it was something assigned to her. She asked what the big deal was as it got done. She also pointed out when she has her own house someday, she can easily just pay someone to do it so she doesn't have to do it. I told her she wasn't in trouble, but next time it snowed, she was helping me shovel and going forward if I asked her to do it. She was expected to do it. She seemed a little disappointed, but didn't argue. I was talking to my mom about the situation, and she told me I completely overreacted and pointed out my daughter as a point. The job got done, and it shouldn't matter how it gets done as long as it does. And the neighbor kid willingly did it, which I confirmed with him later that he was happy to do it for the extra cash. My mom says I should have praised my daughter's initiative. So now I'm left wondering if I was the a-hole for lecturing my daughter on this. To those asking, she got the money from babysitting. She works for a different neighbor twice a week and is paid $18 an hour. We've had talks about money constantly over the years, ever since she was old enough to receive birthday and Christmas money and decide how to spend it. She knows the value of the dollar, that once you spend money, it's gone, and to think before you buy. She says to her, this was worth the $40. And to those asking why it bugged me, I thank you because I wasn't even sure myself. I think I just want to make sure that she has these skills, but I also understand people's points that she has the skill and she can now decide to use it if she's in a situation like this one. But there are some comments. Top comment, you're the a-hole. Look, it wasn't until you said it was something assigned to her that I realized it was assigned to her and not a task you wanted done. I think you weren't ever clear this was a chore, something that yes, can be passed off, but there's value in doing yourself, something that just needs to get done. OP says, you have a good point there, and I didn't look at it that way. Commenter says, usually we do it together, so she can and does shovel the snow sometimes. Just this one time, she didn't feel like doing the physical labor. Shoveling snow is tiring for some reason, so she used her own means to ensure the task was completed, and you're mad at her? Did you even ask her why she felt the need to do so? Yeah, you're the a-hole. Next time, she just won't tell you someone helped out. And OP says, yes, usually she will do it and never give me a hard time about that or any of her chores. I asked her why she did it, and she said she'd rather be in the warmth than shovel in the freezing snow, which I did admit was fair. Commenter says, did you ever sit down with your daughter and talk about the worth of money, saving, etc.? Does she have a job or does she get pocket money? Is $40 a reasonable amount for the time spent shoveling a driveway? Does she know how long you would have to work to earn $40? Obie says, yes, we have lots of talks about money. She earned the money from babysitting. We're always talking about the value of $1 and saving, even back when she was a kid and was just getting birth money and the like. I also mentioned to her that now this money is gone, and she says it's worth it to her as she'd rather have been warm than freezing and wet. I don't know if she understands how much it costs to hire housekeepers and stuff, but she also didn't say she wanted to hire one when she was older, just that she'd hire someone to shovel. I checked that going rate in our area and it seems to be $40, depending on the length of time, so it was fair. I think it's good people are forcing me to see the why here, because I'm not sure if I even know why I was perturbed by it. I guess a part of me just wants her to have these skills and to use them, which we already know she does because she's shoveled the driveway.
She has the skills. This is just a matter of like, what is it you want to even try to talk to her about?
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Exactly.
That's
you
all
need
we're
to figure
discussing
out
here.
what you're upset about, and then is it like, making sure that she doesn't keep doing this and spending money when she could be saving money, but it seems like she's not doing that either.
Just be like, you wasted.
Which
you should pay that kid $15 and giving him a cookie. All right.
Like, what if someone can't shovel for her one day and she needs to do it, but she is a very responsible kid otherwise, so maybe I was too harsh. Commenter says, also, not for nothing, she used part of the $40 she earned babysitting to cover the other half of the driveway that you would have done. So basically, she subsidized you with, say, $20. Yeah, so basically, you owe her $20.
There's way too much focus on the $40 here. Yeah. Money. It's really like, this is ridiculous.
Since she does know how to shovel and she knows how to babysit, if she chooses to recoup that $40 babysitting in exchange for leisure instead of shoveling, why wouldn't that be okay? It's the basis of an economy. Opie says, you raise a very good point. She still worked either way and learned the value of money. Commenter says, why does it matter to you that she followed your example by hiring someone to do unpleasant work at 15 rather than 25? Is this one of those, I had to do this when I was your age, so you have to suffer too kind of things? Opie says, no, it's not that. I admitted I was wrong and it was short-sighted to think this way. I just think I was caught off guard by her doing it so young. But you're right, it's not a big deal, and I'm going to apologize and tell her she can do it again if she so chooses. Not everything is some malicious game. Sometimes parents just make mistakes, and there is an update.
How is there an update? This is crazy. There's so... Why is this much?
The snow is important.
I think that last comment really touched on what I'm getting at, which is that like she's like, why does it matter that she pays to do like this like miserable work? But it's like if you can just like do the work, that it's not miserable. I don't know. It's hard to I'm having a difficult time expressing what I think I'm thinking here. But it's like a Mai Tai. Like okay, Mai Tai is like a martial art, and they like do a lot of kicks, right? These Mai Tai people will like they'll like kick like a tree, and their shins, it hurts their shins so bad. But after they've kicked the tree like a lot, so their shins become iron.
I'm sorry.
It's the same concept of that. It's that like sure something can be miserable, but if you just never do it, of course it's going to be miserable forever. But if you do it to the point where now it's not miserable anymore, you've developed almost a resistance to the misery that life will throw at you every day of your life.
Mai Tai.
Yeah.
Muay Thai.
Whatever, dude.
Mai Tai,
Get
Mai
out
Tai's
of
a
here.
drink.
Go back.
To respond to that really quick before we get into this update. So basically snow is, getting the snow out of the driveway is the wax on, wax off in your mind.
Getting the snow out of the driveway is kicking the iron bars with your leg.
Okay.
And it's gonna,
but
it's not great.
My thing is, my point is, I've never shoveled a driveway of snow, but I feel like it never gets better.
But see, exactly. But that's what I'm talking about.
I feel like it never gets better. And my second
it literally does
is, if I have the option to go take my car to a drive-through car wash instead of washing it by hand, I will do that every time.
Well, you'll always get a better wash washing it by hand.
Absolutely, I will.
Every time.
But I don't have to do it.
That's fair. All I'm saying is that, like, I know for a fact it gets easier because of that job. And at the beginning of that job, shoveling out the front of that restaurant, a month into it, it was like we had it down to a science. It wasn't anything anymore.
But there is more. 3 hours later, I want to thank everyone who talked some sense into me. You all were right. It really doesn't matter how it gets done. As well as the fact that, yes, there are times I contract out work of my own, so it's unfair to expect otherwise of her. One of my main priorities is that she's able to do things on her own. I won't always be around to help, and I want her to be independent, but I realize now this was her being independent and getting something done, just in a different way. I spoke with her and apologized for lecturing her. I also added I was proud of her for taking initiative and explained why I reacted the way I did. Additionally, I thanked her for getting it done, regardless of how it was. She forgave me and everything is good now. We did have another talk about money, but she insists that's how she wanted to spend it, so I'm gonna leave it alone for now. But she says she appreciates me admitting I was wrong. I told her next time she can either hire the neighbor again or do it herself. I don't care as long as it's what they both want. And what I want is for you to listen to full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app and search up OK Storytime. And there is a little bit left of this.
To be clear, no one literally, I don't even know why there was ever a problem in this story. Like, they should have just been like, oh, wow, that was clever of you hiring the neighbor. And then you could just be like, here's what I think about doing a job, whatever. Like, it's not even like you did something wrong, you did something bad at all.
No, it's just like, let's talk about this.
Yeah.
My last point on this before we finish this story off is, how much do you order out to eat?
What do you mean? Like,
how much do you pick up food day to day? That's ready-made.
But way too much.
There you go. Let's finish the story off. Some people said I should force her to put more into savings. She already puts a good amount away on her own. I'm going to continue to let her decide what works for her. Also, to those going to either extremes, that either 1, I was wrong for having her shovel because she's a girl, or 2, assuming I only make her do chores and expecting her to do them herself because she's a girl. I love the two sides of the comments. It's like, you shouldn't make her do that because she's a girl, or you're making her do that because she's a girl. You're wrong. I do everything that I ask her to do, and I also occasionally contract out tasks. I don't care if she does it in the future. This was a genuine mistake on my part and not anything malicious, where I expect more/less of my daughter because she's a girl. And that's the end of that story.
Girl.